Ang ating kwentuhan napapakinggan kahit saan. Samahan niyo ako sa bawat kwento na pwede natin pag-usapan. At sa bawat kwentuhan, lagi kang kasama. Ako si Gab Humilde Villegas at ito ang Kwentuhang Random, the podcast. Welcome sa isa namang panibagong edisyon ng ating kwentuhan kung saan sa episode natin ngayon makakasama tayo na kapwa din natin nasa hanap buhay at the same time. Aalamin natin kung paano siya nagsimula. And at the same time, this person is so very, very, very hard to describe. So, let's all welcome Sojin Kim!
Oh, may sound effects!
So, ayun. So, welcome. Thank you for joining me here on this episode.
Sure.
First of all, itong una kong tanong.
Ay, may listahan ka ng tanong? That's
wala,
mo sa akin.
Wala naman. Pero, sige, let's start with this question. Paano nagsimula mangarap ng isang Sojin Kim?
Paano nagsimula ang isang Sojin Kim?
Oo. Paano
kasi may nanay ako, tapos may Ako naman.
Creation of Sojin Kim.
Si Lord. Nag-start ako sa school. University reporter na ako. Tapos, yung course ko, applied corporate management. So, mga business. Tapos, nag-apply ako sa PTV. Nung nag-apply ako, wala silang business reporter, business correspondent. So, sakto. Ako yung naka-fill nung gap, nung position. Tapos, since starting, puro mga business na talaga kino-cover ko. So, finance, econ, ano itsura nun? So, BSP, DOF, DBM. After a while, nag-cover na rin ako ng DFA kasi yung foreign affairs reporter or yung diplomatic reporter, nag-change career na rin. So, nagka-position din or nagkaroon ng available beat. So, ako na sumalo ng beat na yun. Tapos, I also started radio after a year. Na-invite ako ni Mr. Mark Logan, so mag-co-host ng show niya. So, after a while, naging na ako, news reporter / host. Pero prior to everything naman, nag-hosting na rin naman talaga ako for events. Pero mga business events lang usually. So, kunyari may mga organizations or may mga businesses na mag-launch ng products nila, tawagan nila ako. Ayun.
So,
simple lang, simple girl. Simple.
Bakit business course yung nakuha? But yun yung tinake mong course instead of mass communication, journalism, bakit business course?
Well, nung namimili ako ng college course, sabi ko, up to fate na lang. Kasi gusto ko, hindi ako yung magde-decide. So, iba-iba in-applyan ko. So, sa UP, Forestry, sa UST Bio, sa Ateneo Com, tapos sa LaSalle, ayan, yung Applied Corporate Management. Tapos lahat kasi pinasa ko. Sabi ko kasi si Lord na lang sana yung mamimili. So kung ano yung hindi ko ipasa, edi syempre hindi yon. Wala siyang in-eliminate. So nahirapan na naman ako mamili. Yung una kong choice actually, may ID na rin ako. Ateneo na dapat. So mag-Ateneo Com sana ako. Pero each time I went to campus kasi parang may ominous na feeling. So feeling ko parang hindi kami match. May bagay na or feeling ko kapag pumasok ako sa Ateneo, medyo half-hearted. So, I chose to stay in LaSalle kasi LaSalle na rin ako nag-senior high. Tapos, sa LaSalle naman, actually, double major dapat talaga ako ng econ. Pero after ko ng isang term sa econ, grabe, ang sakit ng ulo ko, dumudugo na ilong ko, nagka-pimple na ako. Lahat ng klaseng stress naranasan ko sa econ. So, sabi ko, wag na muna ako mag-double major. Kumuha na lang ako ng minor sa creative writing. Kasi mahilig naman din talaga ako sa mga literature stuff. Ayun. Ano ulit yung tanong? Nasagot ko ba?
Nasagot naman. With that journey ng college life, sa tingin mo, paano mo na-apply yung mga subjects na inaral mo ng college sa pagiging reporter sa TV?
Well, nung tinitake ko naman yung subjects na yun, it wasn't with the intention naman din talaga to be a reporter pa. Kasi medyo late in my college journey ko na-realize na gusto ko naman din talaga i-pursue. Kasi at the time, akala ko parang masyado siyang mahirap abutin, masyado siyang malayong pangarap. So I didn't really think na it was for me kasi I was just being realistic na I would go into corporate na lang, mga FMCGs. Tapos kaya yung mga internships ko, Unilever, Nestle, mga marketing din talaga. talaga. Tapos, obviously, it helps kasi a lot of reporters, nung pumasok ako, ayaw talaga nila mag-cover ng business kasi puro numbers, puro statistics, ganyan. Pero for me, it was different. Parang dun lang talaga ako comfortable. So, kunyari, ilagay mo ako sa ibang beats. Medyo ma-intimidate talaga ako. So, kunyari, malagay mo ako sa justice. Kakabahan talaga ako. Pero pag nilagay mo ako sa business, comfort zone ko siya basically. So, if you put me in any like corporate event, masaya ako dun. Kasi if you talk about yung mga marketing strategies or financial strategies, monetary policies, mga ganyan, I understand it. So, I'm not intimidated by it. Kaya, and also, I wanna learn din as much as I can about it. Kasi a lot of people are daunted by econ, which I understand kasi kahit behavioral economics, medyo mahirap pa rin naman intindihin. Pero for me nga, it's never something I'm scared of, basically. So I think that's a good sign na parang may nagki-click talaga kami ng business beat. So even the jobs I've been taking after PTV, laging ang prayo ko talaga is for business, like as a business correspondent or econ reporter. Ganun.
Di ba may mga nabanggit ka rin na subjects, other courses na in-applyan mo in other universities? Ano yung mga considerations na inisip mo? Ba't yun yung mga napili mong courses?
Kasi actually, feeling ko kasi talaga science girl ako eh. Science girl! Kasi elementary, high school, ang forte ko talaga science. Yung mga, nag-best in math ako flex, pero ang hilig ko talaga science. Mas mahilig ako sa mga bio, physics, ganyan. Pero mostly bio talaga. Tapos, mahilig din talaga ako sa mga plants dati, kaya naisip ko yung forestry. Pero ayun nga, pinagtawanan ako ng nanay-tatay ko kasi sabi nila, anong gagawin mo, magre-review ka ng mga puno. Sabi ko, it's nice naman. Pero hindi nila nag-gets. Tsaka na-realize ko din na takot ako sa lamok or naiinis ako sa pag nilalamok ako, kaya hindi rin ako masyadong outdoorsy. So, na-realize ko din yan. Pero, actually nga, yung sa UST ko, environmental biology, ewan ko kung bio ang in-applyan ko or environmental bio. Basta may bio doon. Tapos, parang doon sa entrance test, nag-top 17 ako. So, sabi ko, sorry, bawal pala bagmara. Hindi pa ako science girly nung time na yun. Kasi yung senior high ko talaga, ABM, so Accountancy Business Management. Tapos biglang nag-try ako sa UST ng bio, tapos naganon ko pa yun. Sabi ko, ang galing ko naman. Bilib talaga ako sa sarili ng girl. Sabi ko parang, wow, I'm such a science girly. Pero syempre, pag tinapat mo ako sa mga actual science girlies, nog-nog talaga ako. Pero, so pag tinanong rin pala ako bakit, or like, paano ko napasa yung mga exam, lagi kong sinasabi na mahilig kasi talaga ako mag-take ng exam. Parang, hindi siya, parang hobby ko na mag-exam. For fun, sa akin talaga yung mga kumukuha ng entrance test, ganun. Natutuwa ako. Ewan ko kung bakit. Parang, syempre makeup ba, pero all fun. All fun.
Parang,
Ayun.
naisip ko rin, ano ba to? Sumasagi rin ba sa isip mo take ng masters para
Mag-take ng masters? Wala pa akong pera eh.
ayun lang, wala tayong pera.
Kasi may bayad ang masters, guys. Ang laki ng gastos mo pag nag-masters ka. Tapos I don't think I have the bandwidth in terms of time then or energy na mag-masters. Pero syempre, magkaroon ako ng opportunity like scholarship na mag-masters. Kunyari, international or abroad, syempre kukunin ko. Tapos may ano pa yun, may incentive, subsidy, kung ano-anong eklobu. Lord. Pero for now, kung ako lang mag-a-apply by myself on my own with my own savings, it's not in my short-term plans. Bakit ikaw? Gusto mo mag-masters?
Actually, since college, parang naisip ko na after graduation, plano ko mag-take sana ng Philippine Studies sa Asian Center sa UP. Kaso lang, nangihingi sila ng research proposal. Ayoko na mag-thesis. Ayun.
Ano pa in-expect mo? Ganun naman talaga lagi yung final output.
Kasi, especially sa Asian Center, yung Philippine Studies kasi may option ka. Either mag-take ka ng may thesis or mag-take ka ng non-thesis. Yun yung sanang target ko. Pero, ayun, doon pa lang sa mga forms na sinasagutan ko, nangihingi na kagad sila ng research ko. Kapag aral, yun na lang iniisip ko that time. So,
step by step.
Yun nga iniisip ko.
Mabibigla ka kasi pag inisip mo, ang daming forms, may bullet list na bibigay, may checklist
na mga process pa lang, pag-iisipin ka na kagad ng topic. Hindi naman siya katulad ng college na sige, mag-i-effort ka lang kung undergrad o push. Kung kailan darating na yung season na para mag-thesis schedule ko, mag-iisip. Diyos ko, ito, mag-enroll ka pa lang for FA, pag-isipin ka na kagad ko yung research proposal mo. Hindi ako pa.
Oh,
It's not for me. Iniisip ko
it's
lang
not for me na agad.
hindi pa oras. Parang hindi pa siya kaya ng
It's not the time.
pa siya kaya ng utak ko. So, for sure, yung pera, kaya namang gawa ng paraan niya. Ngayon, meron namang NP Philippine Studies sa Pilipinas last year. Started to offer. Pero, Diyos ko, tinatanong ko yung mga kaibigan ko na nagtuturo sa university. And they told me, wala silang non-thesis program for NP Philippine Studies. So, it's either mag-take ako ng public ad sa NCPAG. Yun na lang din naisip ko since yun din naman yung malapit na MD course na pwede kong i-take. Pwede rin naman ako mag-MD Political Science. Kaso lang, kung UP naman ang isipin ko, paano yung mission? Ano yung concept sa ibang subject na? Yan yung mga naisip ko na. Or not. It's not my priority. Wow!
Not your priority.
Not your
Pero
priority. Pero iniisip ko pa rin siya. Hopefully, in my lifetime.
I think just the fact that you have it in your head is already a feat na. Kasi not a lot of people have the drive pa to continue graduate studies or na mag-aral after graduate kasi gusto na nga lang nilang matapos. Pero with you have it. You have a dream, you have a wish. Medyo wala ka pa you're not fully there yet with your conviction to pursue it, pero it's nice na you're already building up the desire for it. So konti pa. So if you don't think it's the right time, then it's okay. You can hindi ka naman nagmamadali. There's no pressure, there's no deadline. As long as you take care of it.
Wala naman deadline except lang sa pag-ibig na sineset ng ibang tao.
Well, that's okay. It's normal for people to have social expectations. Pero
wala sila. Hindi na lang ako mapipili ito.
Tsaka ikaw naman yung mag-aaral. It's your time. And it's not like you don't have to give up work naman for it kasi you can pursue it part-time. As in part-time study tapos full-time work. Kasi your schedule is like 5 to 2. So you have a lot of time din naman to pursue studies if you wanted.
Iniwish ko lang din na sana maging flexible din yung oras ko pagdating sa labas.
I think it's hard to expect na magkakaroon ka ng ideal time, especially with being a new reporter. Kasi when you're a new reporter, hindi mo talaga hawak oras mo na mga 12 hours, 12 to 15 hours. Pero I'm not saying, it's not discouraging you naman to pursue it. I'm just saying to manage expectations na it's not necessarily the flexi time na you envision. But then also, it's also about, nasa sayo din yan how you establish your work boundaries in the sense na pag pagod ka na, do you still continue? In the sense na pag 12 hours ka na, do you still continue? So it's something to navigate as a new reporter.
Totoo lang, yung experience ko sa radyo at saka sa radyo, it's yung chorus ko.
Yeah. Ideally naman talaga, you just have shifts ideally.
Pero kasi nung nasa radyo, madalas maaga rin nakabilis ako makakuha ng story sa isang kapatid. Kasi dati sa radyo, meron kami 7 stories na dapat matuwa. But sa print naman, though ideally, 4 stories ang quota namin. Pero dun sa beat na hawak ko during that church bago after election tulog na mostly ko diba wala isa hindi ka sa makasulat so ito-pressure ka pa ng desk yung kumuha ka ng enterprise story not to say not everyone has the privilege or opportunity na
Yeah, ako kasi wala naman akong experience with print, even news sa radyo kasi yung radyo ko isn't news writing naman. Pero I think from what I hear, hindi rin talaga comparable yung experiences kasi nga with TV, kukuha ka you're on site, you get materials, you get videos, you get interviews. I don't know. I think it depends naman talaga what your forte is. I think and it's been established naman talaga na you're a good writer, na you've made strides naman talaga and you've you've proven yourself countless times naman na din na you're a good writer. I mean, I've never read your writings per se, pero from what I hear naman from other people, you're a very good writer. So it means it's gonna be easy for you na lang din to springboard into TV kasi, or into on-cam reporting kasi reporters do their own stories naman din talaga. Yee, ngumiti! Reporters do their own stories din
Alipin
naman
ko.
talaga.
Ano yung mga takeaways mo since you started? Ano yung mga natutunan mo outside? As well as
Kala ko
yung mga
takeaways,
learnings
ano
mo
eh.
from other reporters
Joke.
na nakakasama mo rin.
Takeaways from news, takeaways from reporters. The thing is, I don't store memories, so it's hard for me to recall na parang, can you recall a time na you learned this or that? Parang it's so hard for me to recall anything. But then, I guess as a reporter, magbigay nga tayo ng specific na tao para naman may tao ako in my head. Sino bang kilala natin? Because I think kunyari sa business beat, when I first started, I was feeling a lot of imposter syndrome kasi I felt like I was in a room I never really belonged to. Kasi the people or the business reporters, they knew what they were talking about all the time. So like with monetary policies or inflation and everything, like their questions are so in depth, their questions are so, ano yun, parang I understand the words, pero the string of words, I don't really make the connections within my head. So I had a lot of imposter syndrome when I was starting out. But then through time, I started to gain personal confidence in a way na, I feel like when you start naman talaga as a reporter, there's a lot of friction in the sense na makikisama ka eh. So a lot of these people, they've known each other for a while, tapos ikaw bago, pero it doesn't mean na they're bad people or anything. It doesn't mean they're intimidating. Sometimes it's all in your head, then you feel kinds of insecurities kasi nga you feel like you're not there yet, you're not where they are yet. So with me, I've just learned to be more patient with myself, be more understanding in the sense na everything can be learned. And hindi ko man gamay ngayon, I can gamay it soon. Tapos, I feel like, learnings also come from the crew na hindi lang naman sa mga reporters or sa keynote speakers yung mga learnings. I think it's important to be friends with everyone or to be friendly with everyone, to know every person's name. It's important na you build relationships, you establish relationships with everyone na some people kasi na porket your driver hindi nakakausapin or hindi na, they don't take the time anymore to build relationships with them. Pero for me, I really believe that it's super important talaga to be friends with everyone. So, you never really lose relationships then. Na, kunyari with me, even if I change networks, I would like to believe na it's always important to keep your relationships. With news reporting per se, I think an important learning point then is, there's always something to learn from other people. Na it's you can watch other people's reports, and I'm not saying to copy their styles, but it's to open yourself to the idea na there's always a new way of doing things. Na just because you've been in the industry for a while doesn't mean wala ka nang matututunan from other people. And in the same way na kapag bago ka, there's so much to absorb din talaga. So, but even if I say na you should be open to learning from other people and absorbing from other people, it's also important to note then that you can make your own style. Na you can establish something new, something different. Na you don't have to keep doing what other people do kasi you bring yourself to the table din naman. Tapos I think it's also important not to be too harsh or not. Kunyari may values yung industry na you don't necessarily agree with. I think it's important to not change yourself pag hindi ka naman talaga naniniwala. Like for me, one of the important people, kunyari in the office, told me na, oh, Sujin, you're only good as your last work. And he meant that as something that was encouraging. But for me, it wasn't really encouraging to be only as good as my last work. So I replied, I said, respectfully, I believe na I disagree. Na I think I'm the summation of all my works na it doesn't have to depend on my last one because people are free, people can make mistakes and people can learn from their mistakes. And I think with news kasi I know na it's so strict, and I understand why it's so strict na hindi ka din talaga pwede magkamali kasi it's misinformation pag nagkamali ka. But then really I think we have to humanize these people behind or inside the newsroom. Then we have to humanize people, and I think that's what I understood then from PTV na there's always room for growth and there's always room for something different.
Ay, mapunta naman tayo doon sa, dumating ka rin ba sa point na parang nauubos ka rin, something like that?
Yes, of course. I think that happened often na kasi especially dati uwian pa ako, so it would take me a lot of hours then to get from the office to home. Tapos those were the days then na kahit ang schedule ko was supposed to be 1 to 10, I was getting called as early as 6 a.m., 8 a.m. Tapos I had to adjust on based on that because I didn't know pa at the time how to communicate properly. Kasi it was an adjustment then. So especially when I was starting out, I was always saying na parang grabe naman. Well, sinabi ko naman talagang grabe naman. I was feeling na I was giving more than I could handle, or I was giving more than I had. And it's not something that I encourage per se. It's how I learned, but then I firmly believe naman talaga na you can learn even without giving or even without costing yourself that much. So for me, there were ang daming times na I was super exhausted, na feeling ko hindi na reasonable, and I think a lot of people naman din talaga would agree or share similar experiences with me na they were stretched naman din talaga to the point na it affected them personally. And I think with me, buti na lang din na I've always been erring on the side na I was more independent. Like, kunyari, 16 pa lang, I moved out na. So, sanay akong mag-isa, or sanay akong to not have a lot of like relationships to keep, ganyan. So, like all of my time talaga I dedicated na to work. That's why, which is yun nga, sanay na rin naman ako kasi nga when I was still studying, I would put all of my time in school din naman. So, medyo nawawalan ako ng time for like social life, ganyan. But it was something I was used to. But then, ayun nga, I carried it with me even with work. Tapos I feel like kapag may pakisuyo sa akin na parang feeling ko lagi na lang akong walang choice kasi kahit suyo siya, it doesn't feel like I had a choice naman din talaga. So I would keep working, and I would keep giving. And obviously, ako kasi naniniwala ako before na you never really lose when you give. But then yun nga, medyo I've proven myself wrong din naman kasi I did keep losing when I kept giving in certain contexts. But I don't mean that naman talaga in all contexts. Tapos, I think more than the physical and the mental, meron din siyang emotional effect sa akin, meron din siyang financial tama sa akin. Kasi with the work in particular na parang, there was a time kasi na kunyari bawal na magpadaan yung mga reporters. So, parang kailangan ko talagang gumastos kunyari ng 200 for a 9 or 10-minute ride to PTV. Tapos magta-time in lang ako. Tapos lalabas na naman. So parang wala pa akong isang minutong sinispend sa office. Pero I spend like 200 to get there. Tapos 200 na naman. So like 400, 500 for transportation. Tapos I feel like, so na medyo pwede naman sanang mag-adjust kasi it was literally just for time and time out lang naman, and then lalabas na rin naman kami. So I feel like in a lot of cases there were times na we could have communicated something or reached an agreement na an ideal situation for all parties, pero I feel like to some degree I wasn't really heard then. So medyo nahirapan din talaga ako kasi I was already working a lot, tapos may mga ganong sides pa na pwede namang hindi na. But anyway, all good. Ayun.
With your sabi, ano yung sabi mo, sa lahat ng coverage, yun yung pinaka-memorable.
Actually, hindi ko alam bakit lagi tinatanong sa akin. Sorry, may hiccup. I don't know why I keep getting that question na parang which is the most memorable. Because I feel like each coverage I go to naman has meaning on its own na parang it doesn't have to be big or it doesn't have to be grand to be memorable or it doesn't have to be super nakakalugmok to be memorable. Because that's how I live life na parang each day is something, I really don't take for granted. But if you have to ask me which kinds of coverages I feel I most connect with, it's probably yung mga at every start of the month kasi diba may like the Philippine Statistics Authority, the PSA, meron silang mga inflation reports. So for me, I personally find fulfillment when I do like inflation reports kasi I get to connect something so high, so heavy as a term, kunyari inflation. I get to connect it with masses in the sense na I get to say na, oh, this is what it means, na parang sa kada 100 mo, mga gantong kilo na lang ng manok yung mabibili mo. Na I feel like I can give practical advice for fish and seafood. So, it's a good way for me to say na para makatipid, para makabudget, maybe wag muna tayo mag-fish and seafood. Maybe let's opt for chicken and vegetables. Ganun muna. So, for me, I feel like those kinds of coverages kasi may practical example na pwede ko agad makita to fruition. So, I find them very fulfilling.
Aside from business, aside from DF, meron ka bang naisip na assignment gusto mong masubukan na cover?
Ano pa bang options? Transpo, Congress, Senate, Malacanang. For me, defense, hindi din. Kasi I feel like, kunyari, yung mga stories na, kunyari, I think it's interesting if you're able to cover like calamity stories. Pero for me, kasi I think may reporter talaga na mas magaling, na sobrang galing na talaga sa pagko-cover ng calamity stories na he gives justice to these stories in a way that I probably can't. Not because I'm not good, but it's because it's distinct to him na he can do that well and he can execute it well and he can tell those stories well. But for me, if I had that same skill, I think I'd also be interested in covering calamity stories kasi nga ano, it's very emotional, it's very profound. It's something that leaves a mark talaga on not just you but then the people who you tell your stories to, na parang if you tell it in a way that can relate to other people, they can help kung sino yung mga nasalanta, mga ganyan. So I think those are also stories that I could cover, but I'm not sure if I can. I could, but I'm not sure if I can.
Actually, itong tanong na to, natanong ko na to doon sa guest, yung sinend ko sa kanina lang. So, ano ang tingin mo, bakit marami sa mga kasama natin ang single at being in a relationship?
Single? Well, I don't know if I can speak for everyone else, but for me, I think I'm single kasi nahiwalayan ako eh.
Ano, magkukwento ka na ba?
No, I'm just,
Pero depende kung magkukwento ka, bahala ka. Diba? Ano na
I
yan?
don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't think it's exclusive to broadcasters or journalists lang naman yung pagiging single. I think it also probably has to do with our age. I think this is also the age na people might not be willing to stay in a long-term relationship muna. They want to explore muna. It might not be the time to meet people who you settle down with. I'm not sure because I'm 24. But I also know na I think din kasi with journalists, or at least I had this conversation with my mom last night na parang sabi niya, I think you're gonna marry or be with a lawyer. Sabi niya ganun. Yun daw yung napapanaginipan niya or naiisip niya, napipicture niya for me, na-visualize niya for me. Tapos pag tinanong ko bakit, sabi niya kasi yun lang daw yung kayang kumausap sa akin. Sabi ko, I don't think it takes a lawyer to talk to me kasi
Wow.
ayun nga, my mom knows na kapag nag-uusap kami, kunyari, we're in a misunderstanding or in an argument, na for me kasi I value, or like, my love language is more of on communication talaga, na I have to understand something before I trust it. So I have to understand like the details, the reasons, parang, I'm a very understanding person, pero I need to be able to understand it in a way that resonates with me. So, ang tingin niya talaga, it's through lawyering, which I don't know naman if I agree. I feel like any profession naman, as long as you have the ability to communicate, the emotional capacity or the emotional quotient for it, I think pwede naman. I just think my mom thinks lawyers lang talaga yung kaya. Pero I don't know. I don't know. Let's see.
Let us see. Tsaka, ano tawag dito, only time din. Tsaka, may mga nagsasabi. Parang eto, lagi kong kinukwento sa akin. Lagi kong sinasabi ko sa mga tao na who's been asking, telling me to be in a relationship now with someone or to get settled down. Ito lagi ko sinasabi na to be with someone, para kang nagluluto ng tayo. You're preparing a master. Paano masterpiece? Kapag pinilit mo na madaliin yung pagluluto, yung prosedur, parang dilaw or sabihin natin na consider me kulang, bang, sunog siya, or basta. Parang there's something bad in it after that. Kung halimbawa mamadali siya. So, yun yung nakikita ko rin pagdating sa pagluluto. Kapag,
No, I think
hmm,
I disagree. But I understand that you think or that you believe that a relationship would take a lot of time. Says, but I don't know if it should take a lot of time. I feel like although obviously it's nuanced naman na to each their own timeline, to each their own pace. Maybe for you it's a bit more slower paced. Maybe for other people it's a bit more fast paced. But I don't think that one is necessarily better than the other. I feel like if you prefer like slow cooking, meron din namang mga ready to eat, mga fast cooking, mga
fast
dishes
foods.
naman there. Tapos lahat naman is good food and it's food and nourishing at the end of the day. Yeah, na I don't know. I just don't necessarily agree that it has to be something that is slow prepped. But then because
Ano
I
ba?
respect all paces naman in relationships, but then for me, I think it's a process for sure na parang of getting to know someone, of noticing their quirks and letting them know more about you. But then I feel like it's also a matter of, like sometimes it's a matter of being straightforward, of having straighter communication. So I feel like it's possible to have a healthy relationship that isn't slow.
Depende rin. Actually, nakikita ko rin na depende rin naman sa dalawang tao yan.
Yeah.
Kung paano mo iti-take yung journey sa. So, kung halimbawa, prepared na kayo in all aspects. Lahat-lahat na.
I don't know, I'm never really motivated. Kunyari, it's not my motivation na I feel like I'm ready to settle down. It's mostly always talaga, or it's always na it's because I like this person, I want to stay by this person's side, but not
Necessarily
necessarily.
mag-settle down mo.
Hindi ako yung parang naghahanap ng person to settle down with. Parang if it happens na I'd want to settle down with this person, then that would be nice. Ganon. Pero I'm not really pushing a role towards another person.
At saka ano yan eh, parang ito na isip ko rin na kailang din naman dalawa kapag sabi, if ready na kayo to settle down. It's more of communication.
Yeah, that's true. Because sometimes you meet people who are older than you and they want to settle down na, but then you're not really there yet. And some people aren't willing to wait naman kasi I have been in a relationship na rin naman with someone who was older than me. Not too much, not too old, not a big age gap naman, pero I think parang he was like 27, ganyan, pero and I was 23, 24. So, parang he was already at the stage na he was considering his prospects for like settling down, ganyan, prioritizing wanting to start a family, mga ganyan. So, tapos on my end naman, I was saying that, well, I just graduated from college, I'm just starting a new job, so I'm not sure if I'm in the position to say whether it's something or when I would want something. Pero I reinforce naman na I'm always open to the idea. I'm not shutting anything down, but it's just not the period in my life na those are in my considerations yet.
Ano yung maibibigay mo rin na advice for those aspiring journalists who wants to enter in the industry?
You can't convince other people those internships to start. Kunyari, take an internship in PTV or take an internship in ABS or other media outlets just so you can spruce up your resume kasi yun naman talaga yung tinitingnan na have you had experience in radio, have you had experience in print, have you had experience in TV, broadcasting, mga ganyan. Tapos, I firmly believe na you should just get your foot in the door na parang if it's not the position you want yet, kunyari, you can start off as a writer, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with starting as a writer muna para you can develop certain skills that would make you more qualified for the position that you want. Like for example, for me, I wanted to be a presenter, I wanted to be an anchor. So I start off as a reporter. And it's normal na it's not something I rush, it's something that I continue to learn and grow in. Tapos it's important to build networks kasi yun nga, these people are the people who are gonna show you or bring you opportunities, and these people are people who can help you and who you can help, and it's important din kasi to be able to help people along the way. Tapos for me, I feel like it's also important to be generous na if you have like for example information, if you have something that you can help with, I think it's important to share it with other people na parang it's not a competition kasi I know na it's in the industry, it's super competitive na it feels like a race na kailangan maunahan mo yung ibang tao. Pero kasi for me, I'm not a very competitive person. I mean, I get the job done for sure, and I'm a good person, and I'm a good employee, and I have produced good output. Pero it's not in my personality kasi na parang kailangan kong sikuhin yung ibang tao para mauna. Oh, it's not something that mababaw din kasi talaga yung konsensya ko na parang I feel like if I'm in the position to help or if I'm in the position to share, why not? So, it's not something that I have changed about myself or hindi ko siya binago or sinukuan. Pero I know my priorities and I know that I can produce good work without bracing other people. Ayun.
Mapunta naman tayo sa ibang side. Yung modeling mo, paano ka nag-start?
Modeling? I started in college. During the pandemic, I decided kasi I wanted to start earlier, but then I had braces. So I had to wait until my braces were tanggaled. Tapos, nung natanggal na yung braces ko, it was a fairly quick process. I took my snapshots, I sent it to my agent, tapos naging exclusive na ako from the agency. Tapos, yung manager na yung basically nagpe-present sa akin or nagba-market sa akin so that I can book job. Kasi usually when you're a new face in modeling, you get booked a lot more. So when I started, those were the times I was booking a lot of like cosmetics, I was booking magazines, na I got to fly pa to kunyari Davao para makagawa ng mega feature, ganyan. So the modeling thing is something that I've been doing since then. So maybe 3, 4 years. Tapos when I got into news, medyo my modeling suffered a bit kasi nga I wasn't able to take my modeling jobs. Kasi like for example, when I was asking my boss sa news at the time kung pwede ba akong mag-leave, laging sinasabi sa akin, especially when I was starting, na hindi pwede, na mamili lang daw ako, na hindi pwedeng ipagsabay, ganyan. Which I understand naman what their point is, pero for me kasi nga, I cancel my days off and I work overtime so I can have like, so we can avail of compensatory leaves kasi that's something na parang right natin kasi nga lagi tayong pinapa-cancel day off, ganyan, 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 and no overtime or no overtime pay. So, yun yung parang kapalit is compensatories. But then yun nga, at the time, lagi akong hindi pinapayagan. Tapos, like, kunyari, the shoot is on a Friday, bawal, mga ganun. So, ang dami ko talagang projects na hindi nakuha because of news. But then, ayun nga, hindi ko naman na iniinda kasi it's all in the past na rin naman.
Siguro ito, ano rin yung tip mo for those who want to enter modeling?
I think kasi some people don't necessarily understand how much work it takes to model, na iniisip lang na it's a job na porket gusto or porket maganda, yun na lang. Pero kasi, like, when, for example, I get messages na parang, gusto ko lang i-try. Pero for me, kasi where is your conviction? It's good na from the start pa lang you have a strong desire, a strong conviction for it. Kasi if it's not something that fully there ka, na parang gusto mo talaga, then I feel like it's privilege na lang or it's entitlement. And I'm not saying that it applies to everyone, pero I would like to see more people get into the modeling industry because it's something they're passionate in talaga, na gustong-gusto talaga nila, which is nice. And I see that in a lot of our students kasi nga we have because I coach intro to modeling. Tapos I see that naman din talaga in a lot of students na they really are there to work on themselves because they want to get in the industry, because they want to get started, and it's a way for them to put their foot in the door. So I appreciate those students na parang gusto talaga. So I guess my tip din talaga for people who want to start with modeling is to give your all in it, na 100% ka. Dapat give na give ka na talaga doon. If you're already there, wag yung take snapshots agad, send ka agad, book test shoots agad. So if you're half-hearted in it, I would want you to medyo sit with yourself muna until you get to be fully there.
Parang
Ayun.
take yourself some time to think. Paano ba talaga yung gusto mo sa buhay?
Yeah, kasi I think a lot of people like the idea of modeling because it's a glamorous job. It's a job that's romanticized a lot. And I understand that. Pero ayun nga, other than romanticizing the job, it's a job for a reason, na you're there because you would like to help a brand market a product or show off new designs, ganyan. So it's a job. It's a job at the end of the day. So when you take on a job, it's supposed to be yung hindi ka nahihiya to do the job.
So sa modeling din, ano pa yung gusto mong ma-achieve being model? Ano pa yung
For
mga
sure,
dreams?
there are so many other brands, but there's a lot of brands na I would like to book. Na I think though I have to work on my physique pa. I would like to get more commercial jobs. Then I would like to get more cosmetics jobs kasi I like working pag cosmetics related kasi nga it's like skincare, it's makeup. Tapos I also enjoy doing a lot of clothes shoots kasi nga it's a challenge to be able to pose a lot kasi di ba parang yung ang bilis ng tuk 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 tapos pose. So it's really a way to strengthen your capacities as a model. Tapos I think one of the things I haven't been doing din a lot is parang going to events. So I would like to see how I can be able to inch my way back up to doing those things.
Siguro, ito, bago natin tapusin itong episode, ano yung message mo para sa mas batang?
Mas batang ako. I don't know, because I consider myself pretty young pa. I think I just want to say na I'm proud of myself na for someone who didn't have any connections in both modeling and news, I was able to pursue those dreams of mine. It felt impossible when I was younger to be able to model, pero yun nga, napasok ko yung industry and now I'm teaching younger kids to model. I'm teaching people who are older than me how to get into modeling. So, it's always a privilege. Tapos, it makes me realize din na yung mga barriers to entry na feeling ko kasi hindi ko mapapasok yan kasi wala akong kilala or wala akong network, wala akong ganito, wala akong ganyan. I feel like while those could be true, pwede mo pa rin kasi talagang i-pursue. Like, don't be the first person to tell yourself no. Na a lot of people can tell you no, pero don't be the person who tells you no. So if you want something, you really have to pursue it. Tapos you really have to give it patience, you have to give it a chance. Tapos kunyari, even with news, I faced a lot of rejections din naman with news. Tapos look at me now, I get offers na kunyari from other networks, which I'm so thankful for na I get this kind of traction na wala rin naman ako before. So, things that seemed impossible to me when I was younger, I just really had to work for. Tapos, kaya naman talaga. Tapos, I think it's important to realize then, or to pause, to understand na while medyo malayo pa, ang layo na rin talaga ng mga nahakbang, diba? Tapos, I think, kunyari, relationship-wise, I don't think there's ever any good advice kasi I feel like if it's heartbreak or if it's heart pains, you really just have to go through it. Na feeling ko, for me, right now, I'm able to handle heartbreak better. Way better talaga. Way better than my first heartbreak. Kasi my first heartbreak was pandemic season, tapos wala kaming internet sa bahay, tapos canceled yung school, ganyan-ganyan. So I was struggling talaga with my first heartbreak, but then my circumstances were different. I was able to handle breakups in a way that's different talaga from before. Like, kunyari, ngayon, I could be working. Like, I remember a time, maybe in March or May, I was like, sinabi ko talaga sa kaya ko naman. So I was like, ganyan, you can give me a lot. Oh, yun nga, if you're going through heartbreak or heart pains, I think it's I don't know if it's good advice yung mga ginagawa ko kasi for me, lumaki yung gastos ko. Like, lumalaki yung gastos ko pag heartbroken ako kasi nga, I get myself good food, I order myself good food, tapos, I get myself a lot of sweet treats, like nutty, ganyan. Tapos, I started, kunyari, playing games. I've never played games in my life before, pero ngayon I started trying it. So parang yung mga ganun, it may not necessarily be the best coping mechanisms, but then I think however way that works for you, you could pursue it na, I know it gets scary, you get worried na parang hala, baka this is the only thing that could make me happy. I disagree. Now, you can always find something that could make you happy. I'm not sure if I believe it right now, but then I hope in the future I will be able to believe it. And I hope we get into we find peace and okayness in our hearts. Ayun lang. Anyway.
And with that, thank you so much, Eugene, for accepting my invitation after maraming buwan nung una natin pinag-usapan na buuin natin itong episode ng 2 and final implementation. Thank you so much. And hopefully, makita rin kita sa labas ulit. See you soon.
Yeah, of course.
Ito lang. I just want to say that I am also very proud of what you have done.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you so much.
At dito nagwawakas ang episode ng ating kwentuhan. Pwede mong balikan ng libre ang mga previous episodes ng Kwentuhang Random the Podcast na available sa Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify at Zeno FM. Hanggang sa susunod nating kwentuhan,